The ruling All Progressives Congress has once again found itself in another controversy following the October 14 judgment in Yola by a federal high court which nullified the ticket of the party's governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Senator Aishatu Binani, for the 2023 general elections. In the ruling, presiding judge Justice A.M. Anka asked Binani to desist from parading herself as the APC candidate in the state. The judgment and its aftermath will be the focus of the conversation on Daily Politics tonight. Hello and welcome to Daily Politics. I am Hamza Idris. But before we proceed with the topic of the day, some important stories. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his running mate Kashim Shettima earlier today met with the Arewa Joint Committee, a coalition of leaders from the northern Nigeria, for an interactive session. The meeting forms part of wider interactions with selected presidential candidates to discuss their plans for the region ahead of the 2023 general elections. Tinubu's meeting with the group comes 2 days after his opponent in the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, engaged in a similar interaction. Also, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has addressed the northern leaders today. Elsewhere, the Zamfara state government has shut down the offices of NTA, Pride FM, Gamji TV, and Al Ummah TV in the state, reportedly for covering the political gatherings of the PDP governorship candidate Dauda Lawan. The decision was announced on the state radio on Saturday evening by the State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara. Well, joining us to discuss our main topic and some of these revolving issues, we have Ahmed Sajo with us in the studio. He's a former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State. We are also joined virtually by Dr. Umar Arro. He's the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party in Adamawa State. He joins us from Yola. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Good. Well, maybe I should start with you, Mr. Sajo. You've seen what's happened in Kaduna
and
today.
And Zamfara.
Yes, maybe we should start with Kaduna. It's a joint committee. This is the first time we're hearing this name, even though there's certain groups like Arewa Consultative Forum, Northern Elders Forum, Jam'iyyar Matan Arewa, among others. They coalesce into a force to now engage some of these candidates. What is your take on this?
I am not in any way impressed. I am not bothered because at this point in time, we should be moving away from our provincialism. We should begin to talk about Nigeria as a nation. You see, because we are becoming increasingly provincial, that's why even our candidates and our leadership are talking to us in a provincial manner. People are campaigning based on either their ethnic group or their region of citizenship and things like that. I think it's unnecessary. What the issues that affect all of us are the same, except that the magnitude differ. Okay. I expect anybody talking about Arewa to not just engage a presidential candidate in one closed-door meeting, but to come out openly and tell them that, look, anywhere you go to campaign, tell us in practical terms, what are you going to do about the excessive poverty in northern Nigeria? What are you going to do about the excessive insecurity in northern Nigeria? What are you going to do about the social cohesion that has broken down in northern Nigeria? What are you going to do about street children in northern Nigeria? What are you going to do about poor agriculture that is exacerbated by the fact that bandits and insurgents don't allow us to go to our farms? What are you doing about commerce? Our people's livelihood is going from one market to the other market on market days. Now they cannot go because of insecurity. These are the issues that are bedeviling Arewa. And There are also the same issues that are affecting other areas, but in different magnitudes. But ours is higher. We have the highest incident of poverty. We have the highest incident of insecurity. We have the highest incident of infant and maternal mortality.
Yeah.
We have the highest number of out-of-school children. So these are the issues. These issues do not require any closed door.
Okay,
They should be put on table in the open so that we can begin to tick our boxes. Does this man, is he making sense with respect to this? This is what are the things he is saying. Will they actually get rid of this problem that we have, these issues? So this is what we are looking for. I think, we must begin to interrogate some of these closed door meetings that we are holding all over.
As you call them provincial. Dr. Arno,
it's adding more to our provincialism.
Let me see if you hear us. Dr. Arno, what is your take on the Kaduna meeting today? If you ask us, yes, I said,
Hello?
What is your take on the Kaduna engagement of northern elders with presidential candidates?
Okay, well, for me, politics encompasses everything. Basically, people have their own interests, and these interests, they come in different forms. They can come in terms of sectional interests, in terms of professional interests, gender interests, all sorts of interests. So there is nothing wrong if defend its interest or to advance its interest. But if the advancement of this interest is to the detriment of the larger interest, that is where the problem is. So I have no objection whatsoever with what happened in Kaduna. If it will, at the end of the day, coalesce into the projection of our national interest, so be it. So, and actually, this start now, it has always been like this. That's how our politics.
Yeah, it appears the network is not favorable to us, but we will get back to you. Yes, Malan Sajo, do you think that this group of people that are calling on the presidential candidates to come and explain to them what they will offer, do you think they have the capacity to influence voters' decision?
Do you know the first formula of failure?
Yeah.
Is doing the same thing, without achieving any different result.
How?
We've been doing this, just like my brother, Dr. Omar Ardo said.
Yeah.
We've been doing it. These are methods that the politicians have used since our independence. These methods have not in any way significantly changed the narrative of our country. It has not improved our lives. These people that are gathering in Kaduna, and anywhere and elsewhere, these people are not the real influencers of the voting population today. They're living in the past. Things have changed. The parameters for determining...
But how do you mean? These are people, Ango Abdullahi, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed...
I am telling you, these are people who have...
They're all part of the groups.
Who do not control the voting population any longer. Okay. We all have our own time, my brother. Okay. Even in our profession now, the veterans of old, they have given way to new people. The new influencers now in the medias, for example, are totally different people. Life is like that. You play your own part. It's like a stage. You play your own part, then you go back to the dressing room. Some new other people come in. Now, the parameters for determining political leadership in this country have changed. We have become too transactional.
Okay.
That anybody who does not have money finds it very difficult to even reach out to anybody today in Nigeria of today. We have become too parochial. Everybody thinks that, his interests, he's under siege by other groups. So he begins to become more and more provincial and parochial, looking up to the religion.
Don't you think these elders? Don't you think these elders will set the pace by asking questions, so that when the candidates now respond to some of these questions, people will now dissect through?
They go to us. When they come to you, look. I am telling you, when it came to the conventions of the parties, did you see influential figures determining the outcome? The outcome was determined by a different set of rules. The political rules have changed in this country. We either begin to face the situation squarely and begin to interrogate it and begin to ask questions with respect to the transactional nature of our politics,
or we remain in one place.
Or we remain where we are.
Dr. Ardo, if you can hear me, okay, we still have some issues there. So the next question I wanted to ask you is, you can see there, PRP candidate was there in Kaduna, Abiola. Then Peter Obi was also there, apart from Tinubu and then Atiku. Meaning you have like a clearer representation of candidates from both South and North. Do you think these elders will make a choice from among these candidates?
I understand that is the game plan, to just decide and say, we've chosen Mr. A to be the consensus candidate of the North. And I think that will be the biggest disaster the North will encounter.
How? But you have to take position. Because you can't sit on the fence.
In the first no. We're not asking anybody to sit on the fence. Please allow the northern people make their choices.
Who are the northern people?
The electorates in the north.
But they need somebody to guide them.
They need their parties to guide them.
The Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assemblies have written the National Assembly's Joint Committee on Constitutional Review that they will not act on the 44 bills seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution unless the Federal Parliament passes 4 new bills they have proposed in the letter. The proposed bills, according to the Deputy Senate President Ovi Omo Agege, are to 1, establish state police. Number 2, establish state judicial councils. Number 3, streamline the procedure for removing presiding officers of state houses of assembly. And then finally, institutionalize legislative bureaucracy in the Constitution. Briefing newsmen at the National Assembly, the Deputy Senate President said only 11 state houses of assemblies have acted on the bills 6 months after its transmission to the state houses of assembly. And another tidbit here is that at the Aso Villa, President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday scored his administration high, saying his government had met the yearnings of Nigerians through the execution of impactful projects across the country. President Buhari spoke during the Ministerial Performance Review Retreat of his administration at the Conference Hall of the State House, where he also declared that high-impact projects have been implemented across the country, meeting the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. Have a look at this.
0.54% year on year in real terms in the second quarter of 2022.
Speaking of achievements, the country's flagship air carrier, Nigeria Air, is to begin operations by December this year.
This is being boosted with the certification of 2 of our international airports, Lagos and Abuja, by International Civil Aviation Organization, while Kano and Port Harcourt airports are undergoing similar certification process.
The SGF says these reviews have helped the cabinet to maintain focus on delivering the administration's 9-point agenda and has in turn provided solid evidence of the achievements of government.
The PIS, as a major value addition, recommend ways of improving performance, especially for deliverables that were rated below 50%.
Former President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, is the guest speaker at this retreat, while British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Catriona Lang, has a goodwill message.
Belly is full, I have a roof over my house, my head, I have a secure job, my child is in school, I have good health facilities. Until we tackle all these issues, as I told Obama, then we can now start talking about other things. That's what I told Obama when he visited Kenya and he started trying to introduce funny things. I said, we don't have time for those kind of discussions. We need food on the table.
Institutionalizing a culture of accountability. Performance management enables accountability and better delivery of essential services. They are so necessary for building trust and the social contract between the government and its citizens.
At the end of this third Ministerial Performance Review retreat, President Buhari is expected to sign an executive order on improving performance management, coordination, and implementation of presidential priorities of government. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Welcome to Daily Politics. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight on the program, we will be interfacing with Barrister Adebayo Shitu. He is a former Minister of Communication, a ranking member of the All Progressives Congress, and Director General of the Tinubu-Shetima Coalition for Good Governance. He joins us to discuss issues in the polity, especially the party's presidential campaign, the recent meeting between presidential candidates and Arewa Northern elders in Kaduna, among other issues. Welcome to the program.
It's my pleasure being here.
Yes, Honorable Former Minister, yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you've seen from our tidbits. Yesterday, President Muhammadu Buhari started meeting with ministers to review their performance. But specifically, he scored himself high. Don't you think he should allow others to score him high instead of him scoring himself high?
Well, you would be charitable to say that if he was elected by the Nigerian people, he needs to give a feedback to those who elected him. They expect him to tell them how far he has gone. And so the performance review, which was held yesterday, like it has always been held even when I was a minister, is the right thing to do to tell the people, if you have failed, tell them, I'm sorry I failed in this respect, and I want to apologize. If you have, on the other hand, succeeded, you should be proud enough to tell the people that...
Like the Agama lizard.
You know, like, look, I mean, I am happy to report to you that we have succeeded on this score, on this score, on that score. So what the president did yesterday is, because there are a lot of people in this country who are deaf and dumb, with due respect to them. They don't read newspapers, they don't listen to news. All you will hear from them are criticisms, ignorant, baseless criticisms. So for me, what the president has done, he has not gone out of his way to tell the people that we have succeeded. And you know he gives some indices of his success.
Yeah.
It is for people who doubt it to challenge him to those indices of success.
Now, for instance, he said his administration constructed over 3,800 kilometers of roads across the 6 geopolitical zones. But chieftain of the APC, it is very difficult now, I know, for you to traverse maybe just 2 geopolitical zones without encountering serious encumbrances on the road.
Well,
why?
The truth is, there's something called Nigerian factor. What Nigerian factor means in real terms is corruption, is compromises, is cutting of corners, and it is, you know, getting people to try to cheat on the people. The president is one person, he is an authority. He employs people, he also employs contractors. It is one thing to employ people and to employ contractors.
Yeah.
It is not the duty of the president. He is not the minister of works or of any other thing. He is not a director of works or of roads or controller of works. Is none of this. His is to give instructions, which I believe he continues to give. It is for the minister and for all others in the chain, in the value chain of construction work. We know very well, because I remember when I was part of the government, that
Minister of
the president once asked, why don't we have potholes on Abuja roads and in other parts of the country we have potholes? He wanted to know. But nobody was able to give.
Nobody told him.
Nobody was able to give an answer as to why only Abuja roads are substantially the best. I am happy to say, however, that you will recall that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway of more than 100 kilometers had been abandoned by previous governments for more than 10 years. Today, if you go on that road, you would feel proud as a Nigerian that for once we are having very good construction work, by the contractors who have ensured that all the parts of the road that have so far been built, you won't find any failure on any part of that road. You won't find, potholes.
But I've seen many of these roads failing. For instance, Bauchi to Gombe. Now, even Abuja, Kogi State, following the flood, for days you see vehicles trapped there because some bridges are broken. People believe that even no matter what you spend, there is this need to use carrot and stick. And Buhari is being accused of not really wielding the stick too.
I wouldn't have all the details of that.
Yeah.
But if you are talking of roads which are, particularly bridges which are failing, what you should question is the fact that the road construction on that particular road has taken a much longer time than expected. Until the road is concluded and delivered as finished product, we outside government, we outside the Ministry of Works, will not be able to know the extent of what that has been done and what are the causes. But I believe this kind of discussion would give people in the Ministry of Justice, Works, and the contractors themselves of signals that the public is concerned, and if the right things have not been done, people would speak out at the appropriate time.
Yes,
so for me, it is we are trying to assist.
You have traveled widely, and in other climes, not necessarily in Europe or the Americas, even in Africa, you see government saying, okay, so road or so building, after so number of years, it will expire. So even if it is good on the surface, you see them rebuilding them, and with this, they build enduring infrastructure. What is our problem?
Well, our problem is maintenance. We lack maintenance culture. For the first time in my life, I learned in Malaysia that roads are supposed to have expiry dates. So for the best road by Nigerian standard, you may wake up in Malaysia one day and find bulldozers excavating that road, which we would consider in Nigeria as the best road. And you will ask, are these people crazy? Why are they destroying the road? And they will tell you that that road has expired and that they have to rebuild it. I think, unfortunately in Nigeria, even the roads which are just being done, more often than not, either because the contractor is trying to cut corners, or there's lack of supervision, lack of appropriate supervision on the part of controllers of road who have responsibility to ensure that the right materials are being used and, ensure also that there are guarantees as to the number of years that road could start, giving way.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said it will convene a meeting with leaders of political parties next week over the spate of violence heralding campaigns for the 2023 general elections. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, raised the alarm on Tuesday in Abuja at the training of master trainers on election technology for the 2023 general elections. According to him, the clashes between opposing parties and their supporters during the ongoing campaigns across the country are worrisome. Yakubu's alarm is coming barely 3 weeks after the signing of the peace accords by political parties and their presidential candidates championed by the National Peace Committee, NPC. Still on politics, and in Lagos State, Governor Wike of Rivers State at the 2022 Annual Conference of Committees of Wives of Lagos State Officials endorsed the second-time bid of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, a member of the All Progressives Congress, as opposed to Dr. Olajide Adedira, the candidate of his party, popularly called Jando. Here are some excerpts from the event in Lagos.
You know, as a retiring politician, I'm being very careful. I came, like I said, if Sanwo-Olu is not doing well, even if he belongs to my party, I won't come. So, for me, if you're in my party and you're not doing well, you won't see me. If you're not in my party and you're doing well, you will see me. And that is what I stand for. And I will not regret to say that I'm in support of you. I don't want to talk the other one. But I want to thank you and your wife and all other wives of political office holders of Lagos State for making me to come today to see what you have done in Lagos State.
Well, that's Wike in Lagos, but some observers have described the move by the Rivers State governor as anti-party posturing. Will the governor be sanctioned by the leadership of his party? Recall that there is already existing tension between the party and Wike's bloc, who are calling for the removal of the resignation of the party's current national chairman, Senator Yochi Ayu, and Wike's unholy romance with ranking members of the ruling party reveals that perhaps his grievances are still very much unaddressed. Welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight on the program, we are joined by Kola Ologbodian. He is a spokesperson of Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Council and a member of the PDP's National Executive Committee. He was also the former National Public Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Together, we'll be discussing the presidential campaigns and other issues in the polity. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Hamza.
We've been looking for you.
It's a pleasure sitting with you this evening.
What's happening?
Well, we are campaigning, our party and our candidate, Atiku Abubakar, as well as the vice presidential candidate, Okowa, and leaders of our party have been moving from geopolitical zone to the other. And I think we started in the northwest state of Kano, we went to the northeast state of Bauchi, we went to the southwest state of Oyo, we went to the southeast state of Enugu, we went to the south state of Akwa Ibom, we were back to the northwest state of Kaduna, and we'll be proceeding from there to the south state of Edo. So for us in the People's Democratic Party, and for our candidate,
you have started.
We are already on air, flying from state to state, and speaking
to Nigerians.
Okay, before we get
Unlike
to
the
that,
other people
we'll get to that.
who have not even put together their campaign council.
Yes, one of our tidbits, you've seen it, the INEC chairman, he was so worried that he's going to convene a meeting of political actors because this both passing, accusation and all that at the onset of the election. What is your take on his plan?
Well, it's very welcoming that Prof has shown interest at this very beginning in what is happening between the parties. And as you know, in the People's Democratic Party, we are not tuned towards violence. Even our presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, has instructed us that when they go low, we should go high.
Low as in what?
When they begin to insult us, we should
because
go
some
there.
will say, when they go low, maybe meeting the people at the grassroots.
No. They cannot even constitute their campaign organization, talk less of meeting people at the grassroots. They are not campaigning. They don't have what to campaign with. Going low is that when they begin to do things that are at least expected of a congregation of people, we should ignore them and rather go higher and speak to their issues, which Nigerians want to listen to. Look at what happened in Kaduna. In spite of the fact that our party leadership came out 24 hours ahead and said that we are aware that they want to attack us at our campaign. In spite of that warning, in spite of that declaration before Nigerian people, they still came and attacked the campaign. And look at the manner.
But they said it wasn't their members, maybe miscreants.
Let the police will tell us whether after the investigation, whatever they discover, because we have reported to the police. We were in Kano, we were not attacked in Kano, and we never said we were attacked. But going to Kaduna and even telling the world 24 hours ahead that there are plots to attack our campaign, and in spite of that, so it should interest the chairman of INEC because we signed a peace accord. Yeah. Even though the APC presidential candidate did not feature.
No, he was duly represented by his
he didn't feature. It shows the level of his interest in the campaigns. Because if it's something that interested him, no matter what.
He was abroad making some consultations.
Okay, maybe he's going to run elections abroad. We'll be waiting. However, Hamza, what's imperative is that we are campaigning. We are on the street. We are discussing with Nigerians the challenges of our nation and how Atiku Abubakar is going to correct those challenges. I think the concern of Nigerians now is not about who can disrupt rallies. It's not about who can insult others. It is about the issues.
Yeah, we'll get to the issues. But don't you think that what happened in Kaduna should not be pointed at maybe APC or any other party, but at security agencies? Because you informed them. What happened? Is it that you didn't inform them at the right time? Or maybe the miscreants actually took them by surprise? Well,
I wouldn't know what happened until we see the police report. But what I do know, and what is in public space, which every Nigerian is aware of, is that PDP said to the world that we are going to hold our rally at so time, on so date. But we are also aware, we have also heard that they want to attack our rally. And they truly came and attacked it. That's one side. The second side, we said that, look, INEC has said that allow parties, the public utilities, that they might want to use. We are denying the use of the public utility that we applied for.
You were given another one?
We were given another one. You understand?
Why?
Not the one we requested for. No reason.
Maybe to restrict?
No reason has been given. And we can't continue on that path because if you do that to us in an APC state, and when you go to the PDP state, you are also denied. You understand? We won't have a free and fair election. So this matter is very straight. You see, the truth of the matter, Hamza, is that the 2023 election is a referendum on the performance of APC.
Or maybe people will revisit what the PDP did.
No, we never did that. We never did that.
Okay.
See, whether they would like it or not, the 2023 election is a referendum on the performance of APC in office. And Nigerians are ready. They already know
Which party brought this suffering? They are aware. Which party brought this insecurity? They are aware. Which party brought so low purchasing power? They are aware. Which party took dollars from 168 and today is 700?
But that is a global thing.
They are aware.
Mr. Kola.
Global. Have you forgotten that there was a time globally when PDP was in government that there was recession? But Nigeria was incubated from that recession. Have you forgotten? Under Okojo Iweala?
Well, not really playing the devil's advocate. I still want to ask you on the INEC chairman. Okay. Now, will you honor the invitation? And if you are given opportunity to talk to him on the way forward, because he can't do it alone. Of course, he has his national commissioners, but he would like to hear from the political parties. What do you advise him? No. The
People's Democratic Party is a very law-abiding political party. And we respect the rule of law in our party. We obey the rule of law, whether it is convenient or not convenient. Once that is what the law says, the PDP will respect it. So we will give the INEC chairman the necessary support that will ensure that he succeeds on this project. Because, like I love to say always, Nigeria today, ahead of 2023 election, is on the lean shoulders of the INEC chairman. And this is a moment for him to make history.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel for him and I subscribe to his decisions.
There has been an uneasy calm among upcoming political parties following the commencement of political campaigns across the country, with many of them yet to constitute their political campaign councils, some of them challenged with various internal wranglings among others. These parties seem to be struggling as major political parties continue to enjoy the spotlight from the public. On Daily Politics tonight, we'll be looking at some of these challenges and how these parties can weather the storm in the face of local, regional, and national oppositions. Welcome to Daily Politics. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. We are joined tonight by Dr. Ahmed Tanko, a lecturer at Bez University and also a political analyst. We also have with us in the studio Lawan Gada. He is the House of Representatives candidate for Gada, Goronyo Federal Constituency in Sokoto State under the platform of NNPP. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We're happy having you in this studio.
Happy to be here too.
Thank you.
Because we will take a short break, and when we return, the discussion of the day commences. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Daily Politics. Gentlemen, once again, we're happy having you.
We are happy to be here too.
Yes, our topic of discussion is upcoming political parties and the challenges they are facing. Maybe before I come to you, Doctor, because I know you have a lot to say on this.
Well, thank you.
I should start with Lawan Gada. Yes, the candidate of NNPP. How challenging has it been, to start campaign?
Well, good evening, viewers. And I want to thank Daily Trust, Trust TV, for giving us the opportunity to share our experiences and, of course, challenges regarding the political trend in Nigeria. Like you said, the new parties are emerging. But one thing, people like us are not just starting today.
Okay.
I was an elected member of Sokoto State House Assembly between 2007 to 2011, representing the East constituency under the platform of People's Democratic Party.
Oh, PDP.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I have been in PDP until March this year.
All true.
All true. I have not
You mean
become,
since 1999?
Since the time I was elected in 2007.
Okay, you were elected in 2007, yeah.
Yes, 2007. So now, because of the internal wranglings in the major parties, as a politician, if you believe you have served your people, and also there are now these emerging platforms that you think you have what it takes to get elected. There are every chances to contest and get elected. Remember when the current governor of Zamfara State, Matawale,
yes,
joined PDP. That time the whole of Zamfara from A to Z is APC. And there are many states like Abga, when they come off, there was only APP then and PDP. So emerging parties could be jokers in the 2023 elections.
But before we get to that, you maybe most likely you tried to get the ticket on the PDP. What happened?
Good. I did not even, yes, in 2019.
Yeah.
I tried to contest the same position I'm contesting now under PDP.
Okay.
But remember, we have two local government. And the incumbent member is from my local government.
Okay.
So PDP said they are zoning.
Okay.
So I was zoned out.
You were zoned out, not out of incompetence.
No, not at all. Not at all. It is not a matter of competency, or even, we didn't even go to the level of primaries.
Okay.
It was even at the party level, they called elders to discuss with us and advise us to step aside.
Okay, maybe I should come to Doctor.
Yes.
This time around, we have many political parties registered by INEC. I think about 18 of them that have fielded candidates for various presidential elections. But we only hear of PDP, APC, Labour Party, and to some extent NPP also, and maybe one or two SDP out of 18. What do you think, as a researcher, as an analyst, what do you think is responsible for this dismal outing?
Yeah, well, from the Honorable, my brother here, we have heard really what is happening in the field. He mentioned how he was zoned out. I like that expression. Yes. What we are seeing in Nigerian politics all the time, it's a confused group dynamics.
Okay.
What do I mean by group dynamics here? How you form groups, how you make objectives for the groups, and when you go out of your way to make that objective works.
Okay.
They could register even more than 100 parties.
Political parties.
The same group dynamics principles will be playing itself over and over again.
Okay.
I would like to liken this to starting up business.
Okay.
You know, there are a lot of businesses, they start up, they get registered, they pay tax, they do everything, but they never hit the road. It's the same thing with any kind of grouping. We have within our culture certain group dynamics, but that we are not able to develop. We are not able to develop them because when you form groups, you will discover that even if the group has capacity to expand, the organizers of the group will not have the capability to manage and capability. You have to put this capacity and capability at work, two of them to work together. That's why I would like to give you an example with setting up new companies in a market that is lucrative. Yes, you register just 18 parties for the interest of over 200 million. Well, I think maybe the parties are not enough.
But what we are saying, Doctor, is we have 18 now that have fielded presidential candidates, but you don't even hear about them. You only hear about 4. Can we call them jokers?
No, we can't call them jokers. They are unable to take off with these two aspects of group dynamics I told you. As far as the organization is concerned, you see the capacity. As far as ability of the organizers, there you see the capability. If these two things are not in the right place, it will be very difficult. So even within the larger parties, you will see certain new groups coming out to inject life into the party. For example, now, there are a lot of these things I think Honorable would know. I know of a group within PDP called the PDP New Generation. This is the group of young people. They have been interwoven together. Maybe they attended school together. They have their own social circle and everything. They just decided to go into politics. A lot of them, maybe they have very good business sense. What is wrong with applying business sense into political activities? You know, if you can do that, you'll be able to build this thing overnight and then scale through. Even the larger political parties too, the day they fail in capacity, the party will collapse like a beach balloon.
Yes, Honorable Gada.
Yes.
You wanted to get it in PDP, but you were zoned out. Now, the time
that is in 2019.
2019.
For 2022, I mean, yes, which is the primary that took place.
Yes.
I did not even come out in PDP because I know the same thing will happen, because still the incumbent is from my local government.
Okay.
You understand? So I say for me to showcase myself, to showcase my ability and the profile, I better get a platform that will be assured, that I will be assured of the ticket.
With the embargo for political campaigns for both federal and state positions open for weeks now, the expectation is that political atmosphere will be flooded with various campaign trends of political parties and their candidates win electorate across the country to secure their mandate. There is, however, an unexpected twist as weeks after the embargo was lifted and peace accords signed by the presidential candidates of different political parties and their candidates, it seems the ruling APC and many opposition parties are not sure of what the future holds because they are yet to sort out issues around their campaign councils, let alone commence campaigns. And even though the leading opposition People's Democratic Party has constituted its campaign council, the crisis in the party at the national and in some states persists. Welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight on the program, we'll be discussing with Mohamed Jamu, a chieftain of the PDP from the Northwest, as we focus on issues rocking his party in Kano and at the national level. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mala Hamza.
Yes, we're happy having you.
Thank you so much.
Maybe we should start with little background, because I know there was serious crisis in PDP in Northwest. Yeah. And the general impression is that you were the source of the problem. What really happened? This was over a year ago.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hamza. Let me first of all start by expressing my delight and appreciation to be with you people here today. And I have to take time out to congratulate the management and editors of Trust for the wonderful edifice and for the enhancement and improvement from the Daily Trust newspaper to now the Trust TV and
Trust
even
Radio.
The Trust Radio.
Yes.
This is something that I feel so proud as somebody from this part of the country, because I know the evolution of the media and its dominance in the southwestern part of the country. So if anything happens across the Niger, I must express my delight and happiness, and I wish you people well.
Thank you. It is meant for you, the politicians, the people, and every other person.
Thank you so much. Well, like you rightly said, the issue of the Northwest and the PDP over a year ago, I was nominated.
Okay.
The position of the national vice chairman of the PDP was zoned to Kano State.
Kano specifically?
Kano specifically. It was zoned to Kano. And at that time, Engineer Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was leader of the PDP in Kano. And to my own biggest surprise, at the wee hours of the morning, because it was past midnight, I received a call from Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso notifying me that the leadership apparatus of the PDP in Kano have sat down and they have decided to field me as the candidate who should fly the flag of the national vice chairmanship and represent Kano State at the Northwest to lead the party. I was shocked, I was surprised.
Why the surprise?
Well, actually, sometimes when you are in politics, maybe you have your own focus and you have your own target and ambitions. But then suddenly, when something else comes up, you will be shocked. So that was exactly what happened. But I received it in good faith. And from there on, I felt the leadership challenge for the whole Northwest is about to lie on my own shoulders. And from that moment, consultations began. And it was already just 2 days to the election. We were supposed to be in Kaduna on a Saturday, and I was notified about this position on Wednesday. So immediately the next day, Thursday, I had to go to Kaduna for screening. And we were to hold the election on Saturday, but some elements who felt otherwise disrupted the proceedings.
Okay.
And the election did not hold. And from there on, up to this year, May, we have been having it back and forth. On 3 different occasions, the election was brought up, but on all those occasions, something always disrupted that election. And it was because of this particular position that Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso decided to leave the PDP.
Yes, before we get to that, I think Amin Wali was also there. The issue of the leadership of the party was between him and Kwankwaso. He also brought up his own candidate. At what point did they really, should I say they have the day, or what really happened, and who actually changed the calculation?
Okay, it was not Ambassador Wali that fielded the candidate. The other candidate who I ran the election against was distinguished Senator Bello Hayatu.
Yes.
Well, it was all about control.
But I think he was in the Wali's camp?
He's in the Wali's camp, but he was fielded by Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the governor of Sokoto State. He was fielded by Tambuwal, the governor of Sokoto State. Because when the position was zoned to Kano, let me tell you exactly what happened.
Exactly, because the people have been waiting to hear.
Yeah, the Tambuwal camp felt threatened that he is running for the office of the president, and Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is equally running for the office of the president to fly the flag of the PDP. So if Kwankwaso have his way and had control of the leadership structure of the PDP at the Northwest, he can have an edge over Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. And then Mr. Tambuwal felt that the only way he can do is to put a spanner to the workings at that particular time. And he was the one that directed, because as the chairman of the Governors Forum, the PDP Governors Forum, at that time under Mr. Secondus, there was this agreement that only one form should be sold for all the positions.
All the positions?
All the positions.
And maybe this is where, anyway, we'll discuss this, but I think, is it democratic?
Well, we can, sometimes, let me tell you, if political parties want to reduce rancor, because these are just party positions, and the party is an opposition party that is trying to consolidate and take power. So sometimes some agreements can be reached, and then some consensus can happen. Within the state, if there is any position that has been fielded, the political party at that state level can hold an independent private election they can hold just like a mock election and decide to fill any candidate at that stage and then present only one person to the general fora. It is agreed, there are consensus is agreed at all fora at elections. So the party wanted a consensus candidate for all the positions.
Okay.
So the decision was a form should be sold to each state, should be given for each position.
Most of the positions have been allocated to
Yes, and most of the
yeah.
positions have been allocated.
Yes.
So it was he, Waziri Tambuwal, that got the chairman of the party to allow him to have one extra form by his position as the PDP governor's foreign chair. Okay. That was how it all started, and then we had 2 forms.
Okay, 2 forms for the national
vice chairman
for the Northwest.
Chairs the Northwest.
Okay.
So that was exactly what happened. And at the end of the day, Konkoso felt he didn't like that.
Yeah. But what happened in Kaduna? Because I think you people converge on Kaduna.
Yeah, we converge. Before that, Konkoso left the party.
Yeah.
Before that, Konkoso left the party.
Yeah.
So when Konkoso left the party, because he felt he wasn't respected enough by the party, he decided to leave. But us, we decided to stay and continue the struggle. And then the election was held in Kaduna. And I will tell you that is one of the most interesting elections that I have witnessed, and it is an election that I'm so proud and happy that I participated in the election, because it was an election that I ran against the leaders of the PDP at the Northwest.
What gave you the courage to go for the election despite what happened when you saw the signals clear?
Yeah, everybody was viewing it from different angle. I was seeing it from another angle.
Okay.
It took us 1 year before the election held, and within that year I made a lot of friends across the Northwest. So I was confident that it was an election that I will go in, and I was so confident that it is an election that I can win. So when all the leaders of the Northwest, even despite Konkoso has left the party, felt that they should not give me an opportunity because there was so many things happened. They called on me, even through my state chairman, and advised me that I need to step down. They can consider putting me in the BOT of the party or whatever, that I cannot even get up to 10 votes. But if I go for the election.
Yeah.
But I told them I'm so confident it is an election that I can win. So I decided to stay and go for the election.
Did you got some votes?
Yes, I got some votes. But before I tell you how I got the votes, I will tell you that on that day, one of our presidential candidates from Northwest, Waziri Tambuwal, he was seated there. Makarifi, Namadi Sambo, Lamido, Shema, every leader,
the leadership of
all
PDP
of
in
them,
the Northwest,
they were there, and they all gave directives that I should not be the candidate to be voted.
They gave the delegates?
They gave the delegates directive that I should not be the person to be voted.
But why did they converge, or let me say coalesce into a force to gang up against you?
Well, the gang up started even during Konkoso. Okay. I'm telling you, Tambuwal was leading it because he wanted to run the election and he wanted to have a total control of the votes from Northwest. He wanted to go to the national election, to the national convention of the party with 100% votes from the Northwest. So the only way he can be able to do that is that he should edge and crush any opposition at the Northwest. So he mobilized the leaders to his side, being the governor, the only governor from the Northwest, and then we went for that election. And I'm confident to tell you that it was an election I ran against Tambuwal and Alhaji Lamido, because the two of them were the most vehemently gentlemen that were opposed to me emerging as the chairman. But the election held.